if you are listening and you have knee pain and you don't want to lose your bounce, this is what you can do. You do need to lower the load because so there's a lot of different issues that it could be with your knees. A very big one is called jumper's knee, patellar tendonitis or patellar tendinopathy. The difference is patellar tendonitis is reactive. Let's say you go and you play an AAU tournament and you play 5 games on a weekend and your knees start to hurt. That might be reactive. Whereas if you keep playing on that and you keep breaking down your tendons without enough rest and recovery for them, then you start to go down into tendinopathy with it, which is a pathology. It's just like a downward spiral. So if you find yourself with knee pain and then you continue to work through that knee pain and you do not allow your tendons enough rest and recovery, that is when patellar tendonitis spirals into patellar tendinosis and then patellar tendinopathy. But that's besides the point. How you keep your bounce up is you lower the intensity of quad dominant exercises. Just like in season, basketball is very quad dominant, so we're not going to do as much in the weight room. When you have knee pain, let's just say patellar tendonitis, when you have jumper's knee patellar tendonitis, you're not going to do as much quad dominant exercises because the quads are directly related to the patellar tendons. They're directly attached, and most quad dominant exercises cause overload of those patellar tendons. So what you can do is a lot of posterior chain exercises. Most people with knee pain can still do barbell RDLs. A lot of people can still even do hang cleans. You could do hyperextensions. You could do barbell hip thrusts. Once you get into deadlifts, that's kind of, you get into the knee dominant, so it might hurt, especially if your knee pain is bad. But you can load up heavy. You can do a lot of work on your posterior chain, and that won't directly cause pain or overload to your patellar tendons. So that's a big point right there. So just to be clear, you should lower the load of your sports, mainly basketball for people listening. You should lower the load of your quad dominant exercises. So you might just start doing body weight. You might start doing isometric holds, but you're going to lower the load from what you've been doing because what you've been doing is too much. You're overloading your tendons. That's why your knees hurt, or you're overloading your body in general. That is why your knees hurt. So you need to do less load so that your tendons can adapt, so that they can rest, so that they can recover, and then you slowly, gradually increase the load as your tendons feel good. So a general rule is you go and you do a workout. Let's say you do 30 seconds of wall sits, then you do 30 seconds of a lunge hold, and then you do a leg extension hold for 30 seconds, and that is all you do. What you do after that is then in the next 24 hours, you see if you had pain. You assess if that load, which is very small, very minimal, you assess whether or not that hurt your knees or not. If it did, then you did too much. If it didn't, then you're good to progressive overload little by little. And for quad dominant exercises, you really have to go back to the bottom. You have to go and build from the ground up. Mainly with body weight. Start with body weight, then you do 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Start with very easy exercises like isometrics, and then you add on and you progressive overload from there. But for posterior chain, you can really still load up heavy. For all the exercises that aren't directly related to your patellar tendons, you can load up a little bit heavier and do more intense so that you don't lose your bounce.
I'm sorry, guys. I just have nothing to say about this because me personally, I've never had knee issues, but also I didn't play basketball like that, so it's a little bit different. But I understand that obviously you have had increased knee pain over the years, but isn't it gone now? It's pretty much gone for the most part?
It's gone now because now I understand how to load properly.
Right.
When my knee pain first started, I started training my vertical jump. I got up to a 43-inch vertical jump. And what do you do when you have a 43-inch vertical jump? You want to play basketball and dunk on everybody. So I was playing basketball every single day. So I was going to LA Fitness. I was doing vertical jump workouts. I was playing I was playing in college and still going to LA Fitness and still doing all these workouts and my knees just spiraled into patellar tendinopathy, and I got knee pain. And you can't maximize your vertical jump with knee pain. I was just loading way too much. I was doing way too much for my knees, my body to handle.
Understandable.
Anyways, I don't want to harp on this too much, but just understand that there are certain exercises that you can do that are not going to hurt your knees. You could do a lot of glute medius work. You could do a lot of glute work. You can do lower back work. You can do hamstring work. You can do calf work. You can do tibialis anterior work. You can do core work. None of this is going to hurt your knees or break down your knees any further like quad dominant exercises are. So make sure that you dial back your quad dominant exercises to 0 and then slowly progressive overload. But for everything else, make sure that you still stick to doing intense exercises. You don't have to dial those back like you do your quad dominant exercises.
Well said.